In this video, we're going to look at how dissolving things in a solution will change the density. So I have plain water, I have a saturated salt solution, and I have a saturated sugar solution. And to help make these things look a little more clear, we're going to add some food coloring to show, some layers. So I'm going to add some red to my sugar solution. See, that's pretty thick and sticky. It's almost like a syrup here. So our sugar will be red. Our salt, I'll add some blue. You can see it's saturated because we have crystals at the bottom and they're even growing up the top. So this is a really salty solution. And let's put some green in our plain water. Now, if you've ever swam in the ocean, you know you can float a little better in the salty water because it is denser. So when we add these together, we'll see if we can form some layers. And we're just going to try adding some different combinations together and see what happens. So I've got some plain water here, and I'm going to add some of my sugar solution. And I think you can see that that is just going straight to the bottom. There is some mixing going on, but most of our sugar solution is super dense, and it just flows down to the bottom of our beaker. Let's try a little more. And we'll try this with salty water in plain water. This is our plain water here. It's got the green. And we'll add some of our saturated salt solution. Might be a little harder to see. The colors are almost the same. Just run it down the side. So we get a bit more mixing here. And this is what happens when, salt water runs into fresh water. There is some mixing going on, but you can probably see there is definitely some blue at the bottom. Our heavier salty water is sinking, and our lighter fresh water is kind of floating on the top. Now there is some mixing, and when currents and tides come together, they'll eventually have things mixed together. And finally, we're going to start with our heavy things on the bottom and see what we can do with that. We've got our saturated sugar solution at the bottom, and we'll just gently add our salt solution. This might work better in, say, a test tube. So there is a little mixing going on there. You can see we're making some really cool purple color. But our sugary stuff is definitely staying at the bottom. And let's add some fresh water on top and see what happens there. Okay, so you can see how our density layers are set up. And you know, if we wanted to even out the concentration, all we need to do is give it a stir.